So we have developed Acme Electric Power Association. Acme Electric is not a real company, but just like you all are today, is really getting ready to change as they go forward, because now they've decided to enter the broadband business. And so the employees are going to have a lot of questions and some thoughts. So, for example, Bill is the CEO, and Bill's going to he's going to want to know about, I've got to address those schedule delays, and I got to get folks signed up or my cash flow is in trouble. Then you go to Ashley. That question has to do, I hear we're going to need to sell packages and that commissions will be involved. Can I just keep my regular job? I like what I'm doing now. Why do I need to change? I don't know anything about broadband. Is that different from internet, or is it all the same thing? Then we've got Jim, HR man. And Jim wants to know about, he's all about employees, and are we going to hire for these new positions? We have new skills that we're going to need. What about training for the current employees to get those new skill sets? What are we going to do? That might be the question that Jim, the HR person, is asking. We got Chris, the lineman. Chris is out there and he knows what he's been doing with electric for all these years, but now will we need to do repairs to the broadband system? What about outages? Who's going to take care of those? Is that going to be our responsibility? We have Kirsten here now, communications. And so what's Kirsten's question? Well, she hears that we're going to have a new website and that we'll have competitors. Is that true? And how am I going to be involved in that? And Jill, well, Jill's not an employee. You notice we've talked about a lot of employees, but Jill's a member. And Jill's got some very important questions. She's got a couple of them. She wants to know, are you done yet? I want Wi-Fi now. My neighbor has it, and why don't I?
So all of these things we've talked about with training and getting your employees where they want to be and where they feel confident and knowledgeable is really about the overall customer member experience. As you go into this new service, you definitely want to walk in your customer's shoes and look at it from their perspective as much as you do from your company perspective.
So what will you need for day one? She's busy, but she's about to get even busier. There's a lot going on that needs to happen, not the least of which is creating this entire brand. And they had developed a name for their broadband brand, and we're going to go with Dart Broadband. Now you see there at the bottom, we almost always suggest that you don't throw away those 80 years of recognition that your company has, that your cooperative has. So we almost always include in a tagline or somehow in the name or the branding elements that it is connected to the power company, the energy cooperative. Got a bullet list here just to run through some of the things to think about before you are ready to launch.
Also, big picture benefits for fiber is that it helps mitigate rural population decline. What does that mean? That means that maybe our kids, our children have jobs where they are. Maybe.
She has one option, and that's your particular co-op. She probably connects or disconnects only when she moves. That's when most of your connects and disconnects are, unless she has lived somewhere else, which realize the valley is growing and many people are coming in from outside and they have other experiences, but she may very well be the only that Acme is the only provider of the electric service that she's ever known. But why is it different now for her as a broadband customer? So let's move to the same customer as she comes in as a broadband customer. Now she gets to choose whether or not to switch. She's going to have the option. She's going to get to select her own package, her speed, and her contract. And so she's wanting to make a choice of the switch and what do I need? What package fits me best? And she has some expectations. Now those expectations and her experience with her existing internet service provider may be very good. It may be very poor. She has a different set of expectations from Acme as a broadband customer than she ever did as an electric customer. She doesn't call the electric company when her toaster won't make waffles. That's not what she does. These things that the toaster's broken because something won't happen. But she does call the broadband company when her smart TV won't stream Netflix.
So, you're going to have areas, your CEO here, you have areas that are underserved and not served at all. And those are going to be much easier to acquire customers in those areas. But you're going to have other places that you have a pretty tough competitor. Maybe not as scary as the one that Andy has picked out here, Darth Vader, but some of your competitors can be pretty scary and pretty tough for sure. So
all these employees, every employee that's out there needs to be a part of this broadband story. You're telling your story about your history, why you got into broadband, and your employees need to be the ambassadors for you.
You get the idea. So what was Jill's customer journey like? How did she get, from moving in to your service?